for Wildwood Cottage and welcome back to Wales. It's lovely to have you here. Hope you're all doing well and I hope you're all having a good week. Well, summer seems to be here and not here. It's very cold and then when the sun comes out it's actually quite pleasant. But this morning I was in 2 jumpers and I was actually thinking of putting a fire on, but now the sun's come out, it's actually not too bad. It's actually quite pleasant. So Stripe's asleep in his crate and I thought I'd just get on with a couple of jobs while he's in there and just get stuck into the garden because, you know, it's been absolutely horrible. The weather's been horrible. We've had the odd nice day, but other than that, it's been awful. For summer, it just doesn't feel like summer at all. So the polytunnel's waiting to still be finished and the plants are still waiting to go in the veg garden. They are growing away nicely. But it's just not been the weather to get out in the garden. And I'm really disappointed this year because I had so many plans. But, you know, I'm just going to pull up my bootstraps and I'm just going to get on with it. I've still got plants to go in. I've still got seeds I want to sow. And, you know, I'm just going to get on and do them. So, yeah, that's my plans for today. I've got tomato plants to go in. I've got peas to go in. I've got potatoes to go in. And what else have I got to go in? I've got to sort out my asparagus and sort out a permanent bed for that because that desperately needs to go in the ground. It's been in a tray since last spring and excuse me, I've got a bit of an itchy back because I had some rapeseed oil over the weekend and it's made me itchy. Yeah, so I've got to find a permanent space for that. I'm going to go in the veg garden while the dog's asleep and go and get stuck into some jobs because he doesn't like me doing stuff when he can't see me. So I put him on a post in the middle part of the garden so I can do jobs all around the garden. But if I disappear out of sight, he starts whining and he doesn't like me disappearing. So it's easier to do it while he's in his crate and then I can put him in places where he can see me and then he's not getting fretful. Training is mixed at the moment. We are trying to do training with him, but he gets it and then within sort of a couple of days, he's forgotten what he's doing again. So I'm doing it a bit more intensely at the moment. I'm doing a bit every day. Every time he's awake, I do about 10-15 minutes spread over an hour and a half and I just do a couple of different things every time he's up. So this morning what we did was we did sit and stay and we did sit, lie down and stay on his bed because we've got this red blanket and I'm trying to train him that whenever I take that red blanket when I go out he can sit on that blanket and that's his safe place and he can sit with me. So I'm training him intensely to stay on that blanket. The other thing we're doing is something called search and perch, where you use an old book or a telephone directory or an old piece of styrofoam or something. You put that on the floor and you encourage the dog to stand on that with his front paws and then you throw a treat for him and you say search and he runs away from that and then he has to come back and put his front paws back on that mat or whatever it is that you've got set up and you give him a really nice high value treat. At the moment he's on Spam. So he's in keeping with the war theme and I've also bought him some corned beef which my husband's having for his tea. So yeah, things are going apace with the dog. He's growing very fast. He's 6 months old in a couple of weeks and I just can't believe where the time's gone. But he's still not ready to walk off the lead and he's not ready for a long leash walk either because he just goes off, forgets I'm there and off he toddles and he's straining even on a 15-metre leash to try and get away from me. So he's not ready for that yet. And it's very frustrating because I really want him to be able to go and have a little bit of freedom, do some sniffing and all the rest of it. But he's just not ready for it. I took him out last night to a patch of grass that I know of, which is safe. And, well, safe as in there's no cars. It's not fenced in. And I threw a stick for him and off he went. And he carried on going. So I was charging off after him, shouting, stripe, stripe, stripe. So that was very upsetting. But yeah, we are trying to train him. It is going slow, but because he's quite a nervous dog as well, quite anxious from coming from a big litter, and that can be quite stressful. But he's getting there. He's a lovely dog. He's got a lovely temperament, a lovely nature. He's a very forgiving dog. So if I do sort of shout at him and tell him off, he actually does forgive me straight away. So I don't want to push that. But I am trying to do the best I can for him and do it kindly without telling him off. So yeah, that's where the challenge comes in because when he's very naughty and he just runs away. I mean, the other day I opened the gate to go and get the post, which is just behind you, that takes us into our garage. And he was that fast. He was out like a bullet and he just disappeared and I didn't know where he'd gone. And I had no shoes on, so I couldn't go after him because it was wet. And I was shouting, stripe, stripe. didn't want to come back. He just didn't want to come back. And then I came in to get my shoes, and I went back out again, and there he was running back towards the garage with this big stick in his mouth, looking really delighted with himself. But I was very cross indeed. And he's not really tried that again, because I did tell him off, and he did end up back in his crate. And I think he's learned that if he does that again, that's it, he's just going to get a telling off again. But I don't think any sort of bit platitude would have done the trick, because he was so fast out that gate and he was just off. I've no idea where he went, I've no idea what he was up to, but he come back about 5 or 10 minutes later with this huge stick in his mouth. And that's really worrying, because there's tractors around here, there's sheep around here, there's the farm dogs around here, there's the dog for the place, the bee place at the back, and that can be quite worrying. So yeah, that was my experience with Stripe. That is our puppy update for today. And yeah, we're just going to get on. I've got a pizza recipe for you for today, using scraps out of the fridge of what's left over that needed to be used up. And we're going to have a little look in the polytunnel, a bit of a look in the veg garden, and coming up on Sunday I have another special video for you, and I'm doing a tour of all my roses in my garden. I've got about 20 David Austin roses in my garden, and I thought it was time. I tried to do a rose video last year, and my laptop just crashed and I couldn't get into any of my footage. So I've decided to do it again this year. I've got some new additions to the garden that I didn't have last year. So we're going to have a look at that on Sunday, and that is a special video for you that I'm putting together at the moment on my new laptop. So it's really good to have my laptop back. It's really good to be making videos again. I've enjoyed my break, but it's really good to be getting back into the routine of doing videos for you and showing you around my garden and all the shenanigans that I get up to here with Stripe. Oh, another update is I've ordered him a little agility set off eBay. And he's going to be having a set of 2 hurdles. There's a hoop that he can jump through. There is also a tunnel, a 3-metre long tunnel for him to go through. There's a marker for him to start on, and there's something else, can't remember. Oh, the weaving poles. Now, a lot of it he won't be able to use properly because he's only a puppy and he's not fully developed yet. But I can set the hurdles on very low and he can just toddle over the top. But just to get him used to it, he can go through the tunnel and get him used to that. And the hoop as well, I can also set up and keep that quite low for him because he's only got shortish legs. And he can just get used to the idea of going over them and through the hoop and through the tunnel. And then as he grows and as he gets more developed, I'll be able to do the poles with him and do everything else with him more. So I need to speak to the local farmer and see if I can find a bit of space where we can set it up, and I can take him there each day and train him in the agility. So I'm really looking forward to that. It's really something I wanted to do when I got another dog, and I've been really looking forward to it, but there's just not the space in the garden. So I'm going to do my best to set it up for him until I can find a space on a local field nearby, and see how he gets on. So that's my update, as I say, for the pup, for the garden. We're going to go into the garden, we're going to go and have a look around. I'll see you in a little bit. The cows are back. I'm not sure I like them this close to my fence. Morning. Well, the cows are back, and they're very curious about my garden. So I'm not sure I like that. They were just up close by the fence, as you just saw, and they like all the greenery that's in my garden. There's plenty of grass, but they seem to like the greenery that's in my garden. But there's four babies and 2 cows, and these are the ones apparently that they're keeping. These are going to go back into production for calves. They're very curious about my chickens as well, by the looks of it. Right, I'm going to go out round the garden, do some tidying up, and these guys look like they're just settling in. They only came this morning. So yeah, they look like they're trying to settle in. So I'm going to leave them and go and get on with some gardening. So this is Roald Dahl and Gertrude Jekyll. This arch looks beautiful from the bedroom. I can't wait until it's all grown over the top. But it's looking stunning this year, and there's loads of nice new growth. There's my pergola. I've taken the plastic off, and above, you can see, I put a bit of green roof. I'm going to see if the shed roofing that I got, that I put on my tool shed next door, I'm going to see if I've got enough to do the whole of the pergola, and it's going to have a proper roof on it. I didn't like how it was looking. It was looking messy, looking untidy. And I saw one on RHS Chelsea, and they had a proper roof on that, and then it was all rustic underneath. So that's the effect I'm going to go for. I'm going to build it up on the sides, and maybe build it down at the top, and just make it more like a little sort of enclave, like a little summer house in the garden, but made out of tree branches. So the only thing really that's not going to be rustic is the roof. But you're not going to notice this once the roof's on. There are a couple of holes in that I can fill up with some sealant, and then it'll be completely waterproof. I'm not sure I like my bench. I haven't decided yet. Open to suggestions, but I think I would prefer some tree branches. And I do have a nice piece of wood that I fished out of the river a few years ago when we first moved here, which is actually 10 years ago this weekend just gone. And I'm thinking of making a bench out of that there. So that's my thinking for that. I've got plenty of rounds. And maybe I can make a bench out of the rounds that I've got by standing them up on their end and putting a piece across there, and then that nice rustic piece of wood I've got on the back. So the pallets may feature in it. It may be a good way of standing the rounds, similar to this but bigger, on their end, and then attach a pallet in there, and then put the rustic piece of wood on the back. I could always face the front with something else to make it look more rustic again. So that's my thinking for that. It's going to have to be safe to sit on. I have done my little sign. I put some varnish over the top because the paint was peeling off. And I want to make sure that the sign lasts, so that's that. I've now planted some plants, and I put a nice Acer in here. I got that from Morrison's for £3.50, and that's going to grow 1.5 metres tall, so that's going to fill this space here. And then I've got my rose here. My rose arch needs finishing. Did get battered by the wind in the last storm that we had, but that just needs finishing off. I've also put some plants in, as I showed you in my last video. I've got those rhododendron cuttings. That seems to have taken. So that bush has done about 7 plants. And then round here, I haven't shown you this, I've also put another Acer in there, and that's going to grow 1.5 metres, and that's going to cover this space here. And I don't know whether you can see, but there's some lovely new growth on these wild rhododendrons, and I'm hoping they're going to fill out that space there, because this one's growing up nicely behind. And this is a wild rose that I found out the front of the garage that I've decided to try and put in here to see if I can get that to grow. There's also a flowering currant behind. And what else did I put in? This is where I put my Waija. Done my little path here. Done a little path here. So yeah, I'm really happy with my pergola. It seems to be going really well. Trying to think what I haven't shown you since I last seen you. Yeah, I've also got New Dawn, and I was thinking of a nice big pot here, or a wooden raised bed. I've got plenty of wood, and I've got another tree stump here, and I'd love another big pot for up there. I've got some jasmine on there that desperately needs planting, and yeah, this lot desperately needs sorting out as well. But there's only one of me, and there's plenty for me to do Otherwise, I'm sure I'll get to it in the end. All these branches are all going to be used in a dead hedge and as borders around the garden. And then beyond that is that bit down there. But the less said about that, the better. Oh, look, Gardener's Delight's got flowers. Look at that. There you go, Gardener's Delight. So I haven't properly seen this because it hasn't flowered much since I've had it. But look at that flower. Isn't that beautiful? Wow. Quite a few stems on it now, so I need to train it really to grow on the branches. But isn't that beautiful? This one's been really pretty as well. This one's off Yew Garden. Some of their stuff's not bad, but I've gone off them lately. But look at that, isn't that pretty? And look at the colour it's gone in the weather. Like someone's painted it with all these different colours on. So that's that. It's put on a nice new bit of growth as well. Just a sec. This border's really filled out. I need to weed it because it's got loads of grass in it. But look at the foxgloves, aren't they beautiful? So there's nothing showing on this side yet on my rose walk. I've got one or two here. But I might get some. I don't like using top rose, but I think these roses could really do with it at the moment. My penstemon's doing really well. Yeah, but not much else to show you up here, unfortunately. My peony's doing really well, Maria, at the back. There's my peony, Maria, that's doing really well. So I'll show you that when it comes into flower. My piece of wood is fitting in nicely now. I've got another one out the front to bring through. And there's some lovely wild flowers coming through up here, so I think I'm going to leave them and just get the weeds out. There is this peach rose here, which I also got off Yew Garden. Look at that, isn't that gorgeous? But they need rescuing, so I might do that today once the dog wakes up. And get some weeding done. But isn't it looking pretty? Now this beautiful red rose here is one I got off Parker's. Now they gave me the money back for my order because the way they packed my order was ridiculous. But for some reason it decided to carry on growing. So this is my free rose off Yew Garden. Elizabeth hasn't flowered yet. I've got two of those. I bought two by mistake. But yes, this rose is doing really well. But I'll show you Elizabeth when she comes into flower. There's another rhododendron just finishing flowering at the back there. Whether you can see it, where are we? There you go, that one there. So they're going to be stunning once they've all grown up and they're all nice and tall at the back. I think they've all nearly finished now. This is the view from the pergola. Isn't it lovely? Needs tidying up a bit. All those blue bags are going to be gone soon. To any of you who always like to tell me, oh, your garden's a mess. Well, it's a mess for a reason. Because everything has a place and everything's going to be in its place soon. But I just wanted to show you this. Have you seen my Deutzia? Isn't it gorgeous? It's beautiful from the bedroom. Looks absolutely stunning. And the foxgloves have been amazing this year. But the garden's looking very full. Stripes little hurdles. Might make do amend. But yeah, the garden's looking very full. There's still a lot of tidying up to do, but I've got so many projects on the go at the moment that they're all with things in mind of things to do. So yeah, it looks good, doesn't it? So I'm just going to go down to the polytunnel. I'm going to go and have a look in there before I go and get stripe up. But have you seen my perennial border? I'm going to do a video footage for you from the bedroom upstairs. But have you seen that? Isn't it full? Doesn't it look wonderful? That's just flowers, no weeds. I've been in and weeded it. Have you seen how good it is? That border there and that border there. and then it goes up, and there's that beautiful Deutzia. Look at that. I need to sort out the oil tank. But the plants I got off my neighbour next door for finding their dogs. Did I tell you the story about that? They came here for the weekend, and their dogs ran away, and they were gone for 6 hours. And I heard them barking, and they were at the gate, the field gate. They'd been off on a jolly for 6 hours. But I took them home, and my neighbour sent me this to say thank you. You seen how beautiful it is? I've got the label in the house. I'll let you know what it is, don't worry. But apparently you can use it for dyeing wool. And that was her purpose in buying it for me. But don't those flowers look gorgeous? So this is going to grow 1 metre tall by 1.5 metres wide. So it's going to fill this space beautifully. And on either side, I've got potentilla either side. This one there and one over there. One was my anniversary present. Plants that I bought for my husband and myself to have in the garden. And then there's that one over there. There's a lovely big loop in there. Look at that. Do you know, I just plonk things in and I forget what I've planted. Look at my Deutzia. Isn't it lovely? But this is a snapped branch. I'm going to try, because it's still flowering, it's still alive, I'm going to try tying it in. So I need to find some string. But look at this. Isn't it fabulous? Look at that. I can't believe how beautiful the borders are this year. It must just be all that rain. Oh, I put the shepherdess rose in. Not the shepherdess, the skylark. And she's got one flower on. I didn't include her in my rose video, I forgot. But look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? So this one's skylark. I thought I'd put it there so I can fill this space here and it'll go nicely with my Deutzia. Because I'm not feeding the birds anymore. I don't want them pinching me food. But yeah, I'm absolutely gobsmacked with my border this year. Sorry, I'm just going to keep going on about it. And I've got white foxgloves as well. And I always thought white foxgloves were cultivated. But look at them. Aren't they beautiful? So I've got the white and the pink. But yeah, I'm very impressed with my borders. Very impressed indeed. Can't wait until it's all in flower. It's going to be fantastic from the house. It's already lovely looking at it from the bedroom. And looking at tossering by gently. Have you seen my campanula? Sorry, I'm just going to take on a bit of a garden tour. We haven't done one for a while, have we? Look at the campanula. Aren't they beautiful? Stunning. Absolutely stunning. I've got another one here. And then this is Echinopsis. These are just Morrison's plants, you know. I don't spend a lot of money on my plants. And then there's that lovely pink flower. Do you know, I can't remember what it's called. A lovely viewer did tell me last year. But I can't remember. But isn't that stunning? Again, a Morrison's plant. I'm a lupin. As I say, everything's just really loving the wet that we've had. But I can't wait until it's all in flower. It's just so full already. I mean, look at all these daisies. And then this needs thinning out. I think this is an aster. But look, it's just gone bonkers. So I need to take some of that out. So I'm going to put that in my coffee shop in the autumn. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go through my borders. I'm going to have a look at what I've got, make a plan of everything that's in the borders. And then I'm going to sell some of the garden plants on my Ko-fi account. So if you're in the UK and you're interested in any of my plants, I'll let you know when they're going to be available. And you'll be able to buy some cuttings out of my Ko-fi account. But I think these are phlox. And I'm just waiting for them to come into flower. I've got my astilbe at the back there. I think that's called Linclis or something. And then I've got my butcher's plant at the back, what used to be called the butcher's plant, which is Acanthus. But the lady I got it off, she used to call it the butcher's plant. So that's there. Then more daisies, and then more foxgloves. My azalea finished. But I love the colour of these. They're called Astrantia. I've got some cosmos. I give up trying to sow them. I might have another go. But yeah, it's full. This is my attempt at doing a rose cutting. No idea what it is. It was off a David Austin rose. So I don't know what I'm going to get. We'll see what we get. And then this border here, I've got Echinopsis in here. I've got Tansy, which is for dyeing wool. I've also put a rose in here, but it seems to be getting a bit crowded out. This one here. And this one is called Victoria, I think. And that was David Austin bare roots I bought last year. So that's going to fill out that space there. And then I've got some Arungium sea holly. Some more stock and some more tansy. So yeah, it's just going to go bonkers in the next few weeks, and it's going to be absolutely beautiful. I can't wait. And this is an astrantia as well. I mean, look how beautiful that colour is. Isn't that beautiful? I love astrantias because they're like a flower within a flower. You get good bang for your money, good bang for your buck, as they say in America. But it has this lovely paper case around the outside, and then the inside just looks like another little flower. I just think that's really pretty. I think they'd be really nice if you could dry them, but I don't know if you can. But yeah, Gordon's lily is just about to come into flower. You know how I love Gordon's lily. It makes the whole garden smell beautiful. And it's just like he's still in the garden in some way, gardening with me. So that's really nice. If you want any cuttings of Quaker grass, I have plenty. So I'll stick some of that in the shop as well. But you're going to have to wait for the roses, because the roses are coming up on Sunday. And they're beautiful, absolutely beautiful. Right, so the plants I got off my neighbour that she bought me for finding her dogs. Looks a bit like a vetch. Don't know whether it's the same family, but it's called Indigo Fera Himalayanensis Silk Road. And it says it's grown on their nursery. It was from Hillier Plants, and it grows 1.5 meters wide, 1 meter by 1 meter tall. It says remove any dead wood in the spring, moist but well drained soil, full sun, keep well watered until established. It says a hardy deciduous shrub with mid-green pinnate leaves, turning bronze in autumn, so it's going to change colour in autumn. That's going to be beautiful. Upright spikes of pretty pink pea-like flowers are produced in late spring or early summer. Best used in mixed borders or can be trained to good effect as a wall shrub. So that's what I'm going to do with it. I'm going to grow it as a shrub along the oil tank and let it completely cover that oil tank. So that's it there. I'm really looking forward to seeing it growing. It's a very pretty plant. It's got very pretty leaves on it. Looks like a vetch, as I say. And it's going to be a lovely addition to the garden simply because I'm going to be able to grow it for dyeing my wool and my fabric. So I'm really looking forward to that in the next couple of years as it gets established, being able to use that for dyeing wool and dyeing fabric, and maybe doing some eco printing as well. So maybe we'll do some of that on the channel. I know we're supposed to be a wartime channel, but you know, I think they would have done all that sort of stuff during the war, wouldn't they? They would have used plants and that for dyeing wool and dyeing cloth. I think that was what they did, you know, for the RAF uniforms. I'm pretty sure they used natural dyes for the RAF uniforms. So it'd be good to do some natural dyes and stuff on here and show you what you can use. Food scraps and things that they wouldn't have thrown away, they would have used. So we'll do some natural dyes during the summer, because I'm going to set up my rocket stove down by the shed down the bottom of the garden. So Stripe will be able to go in the shed and we'll be able to sit in there together, watch the dye pot and let the chickens poodle about in their new chicken tunnels, which I'm going to build this week. So I'm hoping my mum will give me a hand with that tomorrow. But the weather's gone really hot, so I've scurried back under the porch to get out of the hot weather. So yeah, I think that's it for me for today. I've got to go and get a stripe up. I've got to go and get the tomatoes planted. And I just thought I would show you around my roses and let you see how the garden's doing. So if you've enjoyed my video, if you have, do like and subscribe. Do hit that notification bell. That'll let you know when I upload new videos. And if you'd like to buy me a coffee, the girls a treat or stripe a bone, then pop over to my Ko-fi account. Link is in the description bar below for any of my social media and my Ko-fi account. And you can make a nice donation to me, Stripe or the girls. So I will see you in the next video. Enjoy the rest of your week and I will see you soon. Take care. Bye for now. Bye bye.